Hello and welcome to another video on how to become a business consulting freelancer. So in today's video, I'm going to focus is on the section 4. Over the past couple videos where I look and make a quick recap of what are the foundation of getting started building a freelance consulting career, right? As well as the actually getting started as a consulting freelancer. And then now you know that where you can find and land high paying consulting clients. Identify your strength and weakness, especially if you're new to the field. Well, uh, adjust your price, reach to some mutual beneficial agreement with the client, be transparent with them, and other some place where you can find these high paying consulting clients can be Upwork or this top mm, online platforms that allow to connect freelancers with customers and your existing network. This is something that may vary because depend on where you live, your existing network are not that good at advice or that's not a it's not as good as, for example, connecting with other peoples around the world, especially in today's world where now, thanks to the internet, we can have access to global opportunities, which is great, and also employment sites. So this, even though doesn't align 100% with freelancing, but it can be a good starting point to help you put your foot in the door, to gain some traction, and down the line, well, you can now shift to a consultation. Some, uh, for example, tips to help you in your consulting careers, especially when you are in contact and developing this business relationship with clients, because that's the end goal, to build this business relationship. So you're not doing is a project once in a blue moon. You in fact are using tools like CRM to keep track of interaction that you're having with your potential clients, sell leads, prospect, and then, well, Hotspot, for example, allows you to do that. So this is a way to provide value to others in a consistent way by creating is your own system and how you can do that for yourself and for your clients. And ultimately, your client will value that. Also, some tips to stand up as a consultant. First, remember that this is a numbers game. It is very easy to say that, especially in today's world, but ask yourself, am I putting myself in the best possible position to move forward in what I'm doing today? Because from that, it can help in shape you, your present, and your future. And also don't remember to show your face, because clients wants to create and wants to know a distinction between your digital avatar from yourself. And not only for clients, because also it's for your brand. I also learned, for example, some consultation sell tips, especially when you're going to contact your first client or for recurring clients. Be an active listener, because perhaps the client is not telling you the truth. You have to read between lines and you need to see their body language. So the more you're able to see their body language, read between lines, to do and to find all of these fact findings, you can now, from there, land and provide your recommendations. And also use speed, especially when a client send you an email or contact you. Use speed for that. Use solution selling process, which is something that it involves the diagnose the needs or opportunity of a prospect or sale leads, and then recommend the right product and service based on the challenge they're having. So the whole point of this is to offering is a tailored solution for those business or your client. And this solution selling process works very well in that context. However, for things that you need, for things that sell out of the shelf, so there is no need to provide or use this sell techniques. So the structure here of this solution selling process is you start with the prospect journey, uh, which you are starting to identify the right client for you. You start to reach out to them. You start to get in front of them to get their attention. And then you qualify all of your clients to see what is a good fit for you. And this is all about asking the right questions. And this is also important because for that you need to be in the present. And I know because a lot of us has been exposed, especially these new generations, starting from millennials and centennials, has been exposed to this huge amount of stimulus, to this quick, not only dopamine, but also this quick way to receive information that we lose the perception or that we live on anxiety uh, or in the or nostalgia, most of the time in anxiety, because we don't know how to react to that. And the only thing is being in the present, because the pace of the communication that you have in with your potential client is something very, very, very important. And not only for the client, also for you as human with others, your family, your loved ones, your peers, friends, wherever, right? So that's the whole idea here. And with that, okay, the whole point of this is to, once you identify or you qualify your client or your prospect, then you do a video presentation or sales call, specifically video presentation. And this is to do even more fact findings about the client and yourself, and ask yourself, hey, can we move the, can we work together, or is this or if this gonna end right there so I can move on into the next project? And if everything went well, for the client say, hey, okay, send me some additional information about it. That's great, because from there you can use all of your expertise and suggestions and past experience and provide some different options or tiers that it can go with. And don't forget to add free value, which is another important topic, especially as one of these sell tips for consulting, right? Be an active listener, use speed, use the solution selling process, and add free value. And that doesn't mean to work with the client for free, it is to go above beyond what your competition is not doing. So for example, in my case, a client contact a client from Ontario, Canada, contacted me over Upwork, and he mentioned, "Hey, I need some help with my Shopify apps. However, I don't know your experience in Shopify." Well, so I have to be honest with them and tell them, "Hey, you know what? Yes, even though that I'm a well experienced web developer, HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, as well as node environments and database. So I know the whole process from the front end, back end, and development, and deployment. Okay. Well, uh, however, I don't know about the Shopify platform. So I tell the client, hey, give me 2 days and I will ask ChatGPT to create a roadmap to learn the basic concept of Shopify, right? To get the bigger picture of Shopify. The client agreed with that because, of course, I showed them that I have the attitude to learn that with no charge. Very, very important. And then the client, well, after that, he said, you know what? Yeah, let's go to even renegotiate the the how do you say that? Let's go to renegotiate is the the offering here. Well, in my case, I tell the client, hey, can we move on with the 10-hour package? Okay, uh, at a particularly hourly rate, and the client agreed with that. And even though when it when the time so when we have to sign this contract, okay, he instead of providing 10 hours, he gives me 15 hours. So these are subtle um, signs of trust from the client to myself based on my attitude that I have toward the projects. Okay, and also I record my learning process of how to learn Shopify in 2 days for that, and which and put at practice everything that I have learned from this course, which is something that is very very important. A lot of people actually learn things, but they don't apply that. So to me, it's like, why the mother of in toes do you dedicate that time to that? You know. In any case, so with all of this, sell tips for consulting. Okay, then I moved to how to tackle objections. Most of the time can be boiled down to time or budget or money. So if the so particularly for this client, the objection was money. Okay, because he's a sole entrepreneur, and I recognize that. So this course even taught me that the client is paying you for the value you provide, not how many hours you put in. And with that mindset, with that premise, okay, then go with the client and tell them, yes, we can renegotiate that hourly rate. And from there, I also show my past experience, which is another objections, the value. So the client perhaps is not clear about if you're able to provide or to fix their solution, to fix their problem. And well, by showing them all my past experience, uh, he gained trust over my delivery or the things that I can or the problem that I can solve for them. All right. So now that I look at these objections, okay, and then very, very, very important is to secure the payments. So this is important because a lot of the time freelancers go on here and there, and uh, most of them starting, so they are not clear about defining this uh, payment uh, or this initial payment agreement or how to invoice your client as well. And ultimately, they get burned and lost motivations, and the market kick off from there. So, To prevent that, it's important to get the service agreement signed, particularly because I'm working with Upwork, they already have that. But in any case, if you have client outside of Upwork, have this service agreement signed, and from there, secure the payment options. So, hey, are we gonna work is based on an hourly rate, on a fixed hourly rate, or per milestone, and that kind of thing, or any other consideration, payment consideration, weekly, bi-weekly, month. And once you secure that, then is when you start to provide your consulting service. Remember to also invoice your clients, for example, in platforms like Upwork, Freelancer, or Fiverr, they automatically generate that for you. But you can also do or issue personal invoice, such as mm, Starbucks or QuickBook, PayPal, right? And remember that once you know how to find and land your clients, you know how to send a service agreement, especially if you contact your client outside of this uh, online platforms that connect freelancer with clients, right? You get the service agreement signed, you know how to secure payment, you start to gain traction in your project or in your service. Remember that the ultimate goal of this is to scale to multiple business, because once you have several clients from different industry, that allows you to make more not only resilient but also anti-fragile, which is another concept, and you have now experience in different fields while you can diversify your skill set across different industries. So remember that using a CRM, for example, HubSpot, is customer relationship management to keep track of interaction that you're having with your potential client. Then uh, focus on your skills. Be creative to stand up, as well as you know how to tackle objections. With that, okay, then is when I look at the section 4, which is what I'm gonna do here, this quick recap. So this section 4 on how to conduct a proper research as a freelance consultant. So first identify how powerful data is, and that is by allow you to inform, persuade, reinforce your point of view, but also can be misleading. And especially when you're conducting a research for a consulting project, it is important to recognize is what is the most valuable to the least valuable. Okay, so first party data, data that come from the company are the most valuable, right? Most of the time you have to sign an NDA agreement for that, no disclosure agreement, and then is where you can see what they have done in the past, see how they have been performing, and from there you can provide your suggestions and recommendations. The other is the second party data, data that come from these trust sources. They're not anonymous. They have a great record of research report, peer review, and lastly, the third party data are from aggregate sources. One of the issues with this is that you can't verify the quality of their sources, and they usually uh, are behind to some paywall, and you may not know every single author. But again, it can help you, especially when you're conducting a research, that you can have access to the first party data again, and to gain more perspective when you're conducting your research, which is the next topic, perspective. Especially when you're conducting your research, see things from different perspectives. So play devil advocate with yourself because things are not black and white. Also, gather as much relevant information as possible so you can take notes and keep record of every source you obtain. Okay, while you after that qualify the data and each source you obtain that, and don't forget to circle back with the client for that. I also conduct or I also see how uh, Paul Mendes, the Student to Master Instructor, conduct a research on a tourist website. Okay, and first look at their website, understand what they offer, all the products and service. Okay, and then you go to the specifics about the pricings, the categories, review about this company, understanding what makes this company unique. Okay, because this is what you're going to use in your consulting down the line. If you can have access to the first party data, that's great because, as I mentioned before, well, you can see what they have done in the past, how they have been performance, and how you can provide your suggestions from that. So once you combine this, once you know uh, what they offer, all the products and servers, the categories, the company review, if you can have access to the first party data, that's great. Now you move to the second part, which is this competitor analysis to understand who the other players are in that industry. And this is to look at what they're doing, see what you can learn from them, and make a keyword research that on top of or using this keyword research, then you're gonna use tools like keyword research tools, any keyword research tool out there, okay, online keyword research to understand what's going on in that industry. And then on top of that, you're going to understand or you're going to uh, make a research about up-to-date data, data that comes from the world's news, to see how everything that you have researched, what is most likely to work today. And from there, you can see things like where this industry is going and how this industry is adapting to regulations. So the TLDR of this is to first understand what this company offers, of the products and service, categories, company reviews, what makes this company unique. Then you do the competitor analysis to understand who the other players are in that industry, to see what they're doing and what you can learn from them by taking and by creating as a keyword research to now use that on online keyword tools, whether it's from Google or any other company, to understand what's going on in that industry, and then on top of that, to make it by making a research from up-to-date data, uh, you want to know what what you want to know how this industry is adapting to regulations and where this industry is going. So this is the four key aspects when you're conducting a research. First, understand the company, understand their offer, the TLDR. So understand their offer. Then look at the other players in that industry. After that, so understand what's going on in that industry. And then how this industry is adapting to regulations and where this industry is going. So you can think of this as a set of layers of that. Uh, so which is something that I did, especially as the I conduct a research on an e-commerce particularly to understand the concept of e-commerce from Amazon and Shopify, and they all They all mention that this is the trade of good and service over the internet, period. Okay, if your brick and mortar shops or your bustling city center converted into zeros and one on the internet superhighway. So Shopify mentioned that yes, while e-business refers to all aspects of operating an online business, whether it is uh, marketing or conducting a market research, developing marketing strategies, uh, creating ads campaigns, and managing social networks, sales, uh, contact sales leads, prospects, do sales calls or video presentations, negotiate contracts and close deals, finance, keep track of every financial transactions, creating financial reports, keep track of your taxes, among other things. Human research, recruiting and training employees, administrating salaries and benefits, and will also uh, resolve employees' conflicts. The operation, which focuses on improving and developing production process, set quality standards for those process. The IT, creating computer networks, developing and implementing software applications, provide technical support, as well as secure or ensure data security, and customer service, addressing inquiries or complaints from customers, as well as to resolve refunds, provide technical support, check the customer satisfaction, and the R&D, the research and development, creating prototypes or improving existing prototypes by creating patterns and that kind of thing. So this is all aspects, broadly speaking, all the aspect of operating an online business. Okay, so e-commerce refers specifically to the trade of goods and services on the internet. So the type of e-commerce that can exist is based on the actors involved in there. You have the government, business, and consumers, and how they relate each other. So the most widely common is the business to consumers, where now here uh, this business to consumers, for example, like retails like Amazon, Costco, or Target, digital marketplace like Etsy or eBay, subscription service like Netflix or Spotify, and recently Twitter, ordering food and delivering servers like Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash, as well as traveling and online booking, Airbnb, Expedia, and yeah, Airbnb, Expedia, and what is the name of the other? Yeah, Airbnb, Expedia, and Booking.com. Also, I look at the business to business type of e-commerce, such as online marketplace like Alibaba or Amazon Business, eBay Business, EDI, the electronic data interchange, when companies want to secure exchange data within the company or among other companies. IBM provides a solution for that. Online portals for very large business that wants to streamline their supply chain, or procuremental portals or procuremental process such as SAP Arriva Network or the Walmart or the supplies, Walmart supply centers. The thing is that is Walmart supply, yeah, Walmart supplier centers like this. So Walmart supplier centers, wholesale e-commerce, where now business and manufacturers sell directly to business, such as Gringer or Uline, as well as business-to-business payment solution, Stripe, PayPal. Also, I look at the relationship between the consumer to business, such as freelance work, online survey, especially for marketing purpose, such as SurveyMonkey, user-generated content, where now users can sell their audio, image, text designs to companies, crowdfunding, where now these customers can raise funds for their own projects, reverse auctions. When it comes to now the government to business, public procurement portals. So government agency provide and set online portals so business can bid on government contracts such as the FBO, the US, the Federal Business Opportunity, or the UK Contract Finder and Service, licensing and permit applications such as building permits or food licensing, tax filing and uh, payment systems, such as the electronic federal tax payment system on the US, or the HM revenue custom revenue, the HM revenue and custom on the UK, as well as the mhm, um, international trade and custom clearance for electronic custom clearance, business registration, such as the SBA, the Small Business Administration on the US, or the UK Company House. When it comes to the consumer to business, uh, I mean, when it comes to the government to consumers, we have things like tax payment portals like the IRS or passport applications, driving driving license and vehicle registrations, utility payment of utility bills, ordering birth and death certificate. There is a very interesting website. So, for example, on so the General Register Office in the UK issue this order and birth. This issue birth certificates and death certificates, for example. Okay, but in the US, you have is the National Center for Health Statistics. Okay, not one of that is National Center for Health Statistics, like this. And this is a very interesting website, by the way. A very interesting website. They held in the United States in 2020-21. So I also look now the relationship with the consumer to government, such as online donations, online petitions, payment of fines and fees, uh, licensing and permits, such as hunting permits or fishing licensing, yeah, fishing license, or online permit application, fishing license or hunting permits. So once I know that, and then I look at the compare analysis to understand who the other players are in that industry. So like Amazon, Alibaba, IKEA, Walmart, eBay, and then do a keyword research, okay, to understand what's going on in that industry. Remember, we're doing here by layers, okay? And most of the time, when I search for keywords like e-commerce, you have Shopify store, Shopify website, Shopify website design. It's also important to recognize where these sources are coming from. Where's the demographic from these outputs? Most of the time, come from the U.S. or North America. When I search for Amazon, it's Amazon online shopping, Kindle, Alexa, Fire Stick, Amazon gift cards. Alibaba is more like Alibaba wholesales, Alibaba online shoppings, AliExpress wholesale, Alibaba products, AliExpress online shopping. In Shopify here is Shopify store, Shopify theme, Shopify website, Shopify POS, the point of sales, Shopify website design. And I'm going to focus on Shopify here because the client, after all, give wants me to fix and improve a Shopify application. So I'm now looking at the Shopify concept like Shopify store, themes, Shopify website, Shopify POS, Shopify website design. Okay. So once I conduct that, right, and then I get up to date data to know where this industry is going and how this industry is adapting to regulations by implementing now the AI, especially on the Shopify platforms. So it's important to then now create a visually engaging presentation, especially when you're going to present that to your client, right? Because we are visual learners, or according to the MIT study in 2014, that we as humans can detect, or the human brain can detect image for as little, human brain can detect image scenes for as little as 13 milliseconds, okay, which is this. So the MIT neuroscientists find that the brain can identify image scenes for as little as 13 milliseconds. And this was in 2014. Oh my god, almost 10 years ago. Jesus. In any case, yeah, in any case. Um, so yeah, so there's a couple steps here, especially when you're going to create your report. First, before creating your report, you must know exactly what you're gonna put in there. Then put the most relevant data first, uh, and this is important because, well, you don't want the client to forget what the most important thing was. So by laying down the most important data first, and then expand that with different visual reports and different aesthetics and statistics, this is how you can create this storytelling, this narrative around your research. Also, it's important to create templates, especially for recurring clients, and use charts and in statistics. Why? Because that visualization helps you and the client to make more informed decisions. Because at the end of the day, the client wants to know, hey, how do you came with that conclusion? And by showing them with different aesthetics, statistics, and show them the meaningful patterns of this as a consultant, the client see that and then realize that if you are the client that want to work, if you are the freelancer that want to work with you in the long term, and you're not just another freelance that it does just the bare minimum to get by. Very, very important. So there are different set charts that we can use. here, okay, such as the bar graph, when you want to see when you want to see change in time, change over time, or to compare different parts to a whole, as well as the pie chart, useful when you want to show is small data set, line graph for time series relationship, uh, to show accelerations, decelerations, trends, or volatility. Area chart, which is the same as line graph, but in this case to show volume, meaning that we can represent is three variables here. Scatter plot, which is when you want to see correlation of data, okay, or the relationship between items based on two set of variables, okay. The bubble chart, which is a combo mix between the area chart and the scatter plot, which is which are great for nominal data or comparison data, ranking relationships here. Again, correlation of data doesn't mean causality, but that's a whole new different video. And also I look at heat maps when you want to see categorical data using intensity of color to show on a map or on a table, right? So for example, the number of apple export by states or the number of oil, the oil barrels export per state. Okay, by using this intensity of color, you can see much faster uh, those uh, those places. And I also look at geomap, okay, that allows you to show distribution of points, data points on a map. So for example, when you want to see is the number of retails that a particular brand has over a state or a country or around the world. Okay. Geomaps, waterfall, when you want to see performance over time, tables, you want to compare, for example, administrating or when you want to compare sales by sales representative, or where blocks where view or where blog views are coming from, okay. Uh, and also the pictograph when you want to show statistic with icons. It is important to understand that there's some tools out there that you can use to leverage your report, whether it's a Statista, for example, Google Charts, Google Trends, Microsoft Excel, Canvas to create your report. And when it comes to present your data, uh, it's important to be clear about the data what you're showing. Stay organized, make it easy to read, and compare to benchmark. And don't forget to, or in this case, never use unprecise number or or trash your data after you present that. And some communication tips, especially when you are presenting your report. First, make sure that you understand the goal. Second, break down complex topics, especially for people that don't have or don't hold a background on that topic, and you need to rely on some of this industry jargon out there. Well, it's important to break down all of these complex topics or this mumbo jumbo industry slang, all of this industry mumbo jumbo. Remember to make it easy to follow and see how others are formulating data. And don't forget also to especially when you want to keep track of the communication with your clients. Okay, the important to recognize is it is working style, it is communication style. Uh, Keep track of interaction that you're having with that client. Okay, and being a team player and some brief updates along the way, because the ultimate goal of this is to build recurring clients. So how you can do that? Well, by this is not when you are on the field. So by using this A/B testing, okay, where you have the original versions and the unauthorized versions, okay. So the whole point of this is to understand that A/B testing is a way to create, or is a way to build this recurring client. So you can do as many tests as you want, but there's a good practice in there. So first, test one thing at a time. Test one variable. Do one test at a time. Test one variable, and make minor change. Okay. Don't forget to test that with uh, multiple or with random audience, 50-50. Okay, and do the test simultaneously. Okay, and also before doing that test, decide on how significant it is. So prioritize the test. Okay, so remember to measuring this test over time and repeat that. So in this case, you are now solving and you are focused on over delivering value to the client, which is after all that's how it's going to build your reputation, okay, along the way. That's right. So that'll be all for this video. Take care.